let's talk about 5 unorthodox money and life advice that nobody would tell you. And you see, the fact is that many people think that money advice is more about saving more, investing more, earning more, all of that stuff that, make you more money. But the truth is that it goes so much deeper than that. The real financial freedom is making bold decisions, making use of leverage, and how you want to strategize your life. So in this video, I'm not giving you the usual personal finance advice. I'm going to share some tips that help me enable my journey to give you more control, flexibility, and peace of mind. And these are really things that most people do not talk about. So I hope that it can help you shift your mindset in changing how you think. And right now, I am Chiang Mai. This is JJ Market, Jinjai Market on a Sunday morning. So hopefully some of this advice can help you go ahead in life, and let's get onto it. Also, if you want to join a like-minded community of more than 21,000 members interested in improving their lives, then join us at Honey Money SG Telegram. Advice number 1, the biggest financial power is not about wealth, but it's about the option and the freedom to walk away. Because we all know that in life, we are bounded by a lot of decisions by other people. Freedom is never about how much money you have and how much you can accumulate, but how much you can say no to other people's decisions and to walk your own path without stranded on the society. Whether it's a toxic job or a relationship or a life decision that you can or cannot walk away, that will determine your biggest financial leverage. Now, don't think that if you're not employed in a full-time company or corporate position, you will be free and have the freedom. Because having a self-employed career also means that you are stuck with your clients, and not all the clients are very nice. And some of these gigs, even though the client is very demanding, but they pay really little. So do you have the power to say no to this client and walk away? But some of you can't, because you rely heavily on just a few clients, and these few clients, if you offend them, there goes your business. So having financial freedom or life freedom is sometimes not about having the most money, but if you have sufficient financial buffer and you have a safety net, that you can start saying no just because you have the means to. You have the 底气, you have the confidence, then I felt that that is real freedom. Okay, you don't just depend on 1 or 2 sources. And I can assure you that once you have this 底气, this confidence, you will start to say no. You will start to negotiate. You will start to turn down people who don't make a positive impact in your life, whether in business or at work. So having the power to walk away is not being dramatic. It's about having the choice and the option and taking power to your own hands. So start saying no to more projects, more work, just because you have the financial buffer to do so. Have some self-respect for yourself and stop leaning into other people's decisions and strategies for your own life. Let's go to the next lesson. Advice number 2, I want you to start thinking about working remotely and living internationally. Because remote working is not just a corporate benefit or some kind of life freedom. It's about living beyond your boundaries and your comfort zone. And you will learn so much more when you live abroad, or you can work remote. Now, if your country is really large, you can just work in your hometown away from your corporate office. But for someone like us in Singapore, maybe working remote can be something as easy as living in JB and working in SG company, but you take a work remote in Johor Bahru, which is just 1 causeway away. But I guess the biggest benefit of working remote is that you remove commute time, which can be rather inconvenient, especially when MRTs break down, public transport fares increase, and you don't want to, squeeze with other people during the morning peak hour and the evening peak hours after they end their work. You see, all the hours saved from your commute not just is additional time, but you can spend this time professionally and strategically to work on your new side hustle, to build new relationships, to meet more people, and to expand your horizon. So working remote sometimes is not just about that convenience. It's about using that time for something else other than entertainment. You want to educate yourself, you want to train yourself, go for new classes. I think those are very valid advantages of working remote. Let's talk about the third lesson or advice, and that is called suburban advantage. So you're living away from the city, you no longer need to live near your workplace, which is very similar to the concept of remote work. And the reason is because as you live nearer to the city, nearer to the CBD, nearer to the mature town, you may actually need to live in a more expensive property, especially for places which is land scarce, like in Singapore. The property near the city center is much more expensive, and you don't want to have that disadvantage. Now, the very fact that you can do remote working means that you don't have to live near office, you don't need that convenience, and if you're able to live in a suburban neighborhood, property prices and even rents is much more affordable, which also helps you save more money in the long run. And even if you just want to allocate the same budget, you can enjoy much more space compared to somewhere near the city center. Secondly, there's much lower human density. You know, in the past, I used to live near the city center, Boon Keng, and that has very high human density. And sometimes there's so much human traffic that I get overwhelmed. I'm not sure how many of you experience this when you are living near the CBD or, you know, just having commute. But if you go back to those suburban areas, like those homeland estates that are near your public housing estates in the OCR outside central region, there may be much less human traffic, vehicle traffic, noise and disruption, and you can carry on your life more peacefully and with more serenity. With lesser distractions and quieter environment, you will definitely work better and be more productive compared to a noisy and busy estate. So sometimes it's not really about cost, it's more about creating that productive environment that is most suitable for you to excel, whether at your work or productivity for your clients. And I guess it's really more prevalent now that people are talking about mental health issues, and this creates a form of support environment that you can consistently push yourself every day instead of mentally draining you day after day. So creating a positive work environment, whether it's for your own hustle or for your business or just for your corporate job, is really important. That's lesson number 3 for you. Money and life advice lesson number 4 is to take advantage of the geographical arbitrage. And I'm very sure most of you already know this, where SGD is strong, you work in an SGD currency job, but then you try to live abroad, you work remote. And that's where the geographical arbitrage come in, because cost of living is much lesser. Not only the cost of living is much lesser, but you get to enjoy somewhere out of your comfort zone, and you may even explore different opportunities outside of your home country. Now, even if you're not able to move and live overseas, I think having that weekend JB geographical arbitrage is also quite nice. Or you can be like me, try some work vacations. You know, they call it workcation. So you just live temporarily for a few days. Instead of going for sightseeing, you go to places like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Vietnam, Indonesia, Bali, or even Malaysia, just some nearby countries. And instead of doing your normal holiday sightseeing activities, you go and work. And you go and work remote. Go and ask for some permission from your superiors, your managers. Say whether can you work remote for a few days. And you don't even need to use your annual leave. And if they approve, now you're just working in a different location. So during the work day time, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., you work in a hotel or some cafe. Then after you end the work, you can go explore some night market, explore some local culture that, you know, has something new in your life to explore, and that is called workation. Of course, you still need to pay for some expenses like the flight ticket, the hotel, and the travel insurance. Okay, these are essential expenses that you should not scream and save, because traveling always comes at the cost. Just that now you have a different way of living, which is quite different from your daily lifestyle. And maybe if you're lucky enough, you may even experience lower cost of living, eating healthier, exploring new places that you have never been, and that is all adds up to your life experience other than just money alone. So that's lesson number 4 for you. Let's move on to lesson number 5, which is called marrying the right person, the right spouse, because this can be your greatest financial decision despite it not looking like a financial decision. I think in life we don't talk enough about how much your life partner, your spouse, affects your personal finance decisions, because we always talk about marrying for the sake of having a house, having a baby, and raising children and all that. But all these are actually tied to financial decisions. How important is a supportive partner? It can help you earn more, save more, and be aligned with your financial values, such that it can even propel your career or your business decisions. Now, for something like housing, kids, and even retirement planning, all these involves money. And if you're just thinking of wedding and marriage like some child play, I hope that you can take it seriously, because it's going to affect your later half of your life, and it's going to be a massive financial decision. Maybe I will share what happens if you choose a wrong life partner. It results in miscommunication, misalignment in life goals, and you will make your day very miserable, because now you are legally obliged to live with the same partner until you are divorced, because you may not be aligned with how you think, how you want to raise kids, how you want to split and share the money and income. So instead of having an enriching and encouraging life partner, now you get some more stress, okay, more problems, more responsibilities that you don't want to take on. So having the right life partner, your spouse, is really important. Just to be clear, you don't have to marry rich or marry someone above your level. Just make sure the financial values are aligned. You will want to come home to someone that welcomes you and are always happy to see you, and not someone who always tolerates you. Okay, you go home, you expect your spouse to really be welcoming, right? Happy to see you, and not like, you come home already, I think of all the problems, all the sadness, and all the misery. Okay, this is not the life partner that you want. And to be honest, money fights are one of the most significant reasons that couples divorce, especially when they just got married, because they realize that, I didn't really look into the financial values, the life values, and we are not aligned on this. And how do I live like this with this person for the rest of my life? And they cannot tolerate anymore until a certain point, and then that's when it's fit up. So these are my 5 money and life advisors that are quite unorthodox. Number 1, have the right to say no, have the authority to say no. Number 2, try to work remote or have the option to work remote. Number 3, once you're able to work remote, try to move to a suburban area or a less populated area away from the city or CBD. Number 4, practice geographical arbitrage. Use it to your advantage for more life experiences and spend the best life out of your limited money. And finally, number 5, marry smart. Don't need to marry rich, but make sure your values are aligned in all your decisions that you may make. And if you want to show some support, okay, this video is not sponsored. You can click on my interactive brokers link or scan the QR code somewhere here. Okay, it will pay a small commission to my business, and I thank you very much, because doing all these videos is really not easy, especially when you want to film in public and it's really hot out here in Chiang Mai. Alright, so you realize that these 5 money advice and life advice are not really about chasing the money. It's about achieving freedom and having more optionality in your life. If any one of these tips just help you make a better financial decision, just help me press the like button, and hopefully your career, your life, or your relationships can get to a higher level. And if you want to know what are some of the other mindsets that I've shared in the previous video, then you can refer to it right here.